Hey guys, it's Jeremy here at Metal Music Meltdown, back with another video. What we have for today, guys, is another album review. This one's going to be a little bit different. It's not a new release. It's a release from back in 2009. My buddy Mark over at Metal Never Dies. If you're not familiar with his channel, please check them out. He's in a band called Aquila, and he sent me their EPs a couple years ago, their newer stuff, which I reviewed on the channel as well. And since receiving his more newer EPs, I kept asking him if he was able to get me a copy on CD of his debut full length called Imperium, which is what we'll be reviewing today. And I was at a press, he didn't have any copies, but he was able recently to find a copy, a sealed copy even better. And he reached out to me saying, Jared, do you still want a copy of their Imperium, their debut? I'm like, yeah, dude, send it to me. I'll definitely buy it from you. So he sent it over to me, and he was also nice enough to hook me up with the shirt. I showed this on a previous video. So thanks again, Mark, for hooking me up with the shirt as well. And I told him, yeah, dude, once I kind of give it a couple more spins, I'll review it on the channel for you. No problem at all. Showcase it on a video just to get more ears on it, and more people need to hear it. This isn't a first listen for me. I've heard it a couple years ago when he hooked me up with the other EPs. I checked out their debut online. I streamed it, and it was really killer stuff. So I was more than happy to review the album for Mark on the channel and, showcase his album for him. So again, if you're not familiar with Mark, please go head over to his Metal Never Dies channel, give him a follow and a subscribe over there. And also follow his band Aquila. It's Aquila on Bandcamp over there, and check them out on Instagram as well. And like I said, their debut album, they're formed in 2006. Their debut album came out in 2009 called Imperium. You can see it beside me here. Pretty cool artwork. I like their logo. That kind of bird crest in the middle is used quite often in their imaging and throughout their band's history. The coloring on the artwork's pretty cool. The kind of dark brown gold kind of tones, I like how it looks. It's got 10 tracks in total, 35 minutes in length approximately. It's an independent release. Their subgenre is pretty much metalcore. If I had to pinpoint it, it's got some death metal elements and stuff mixed in there, but primarily they're metalcore, and they definitely sound like a metalcore band from the time, like 2009. It definitely has that sound, the heaviness, and the way the songs are structured. It's very definitely of the time for sure. Not saying it's a negative thing, like it sounds dated, but you can tell the era it came from, but it still holds up today. It still sounds fresh and really killer. This is an incredible album. I remember listening to it a couple of years ago, and I really enjoyed it, but after listening to it, since getting a CD copy again, I'm like, wow, this is a lot better than I remember it being. Not that it was bad before, but I was really enjoying it. I gave it 3 or 4 spins, and then I would kind of listen to some other new releases to do reviews, and I kept going back to this to listen to it again. And that was kind of telling just how often I went back to it to go back and listen to it again. Like I said, 10 tracks in total. The opening track is the title track, kind of an instrumental intro. You know how I feel about those guys. I can take them or leave them. This one sounded really good, is well constructed. I wouldn't have called it Imperium, like the self-titled track. I probably would have called it something else personally, but it didn't sound horrible. But it's a pretty cool sounding track. I'm just not a big intro fan in general, but it wasn't bad by any means. It sounded pretty cool. And then Our Darkness, number 2, nice dark heavy sound, big fat riffs on this one, really good. And overall, the songs are really well constructed. The one thing I kind of took away from this initially was the composition of the songs is really strong. Considering this is the band's debut album, it doesn't sound like a band's debut and when they were younger. This is back in 2009, so it's 16 years ago, and it sounds like a band that's seasoned and has played together for a really long time. It didn't sound like a stereotypical debut album, if you will. It's really well constructed. The songs are well written. The composition of the music itself is really well done. It's very seamless. The transitions, The riffs are really well written. Mark's vocals actually sound really good. I think this might be one of his best vocal performances out of all his material. It's kind of a combination of like those guttural death growls, and he's got some higher level, higher register kind of screaming vocals that he does. Not really any cleans, but there's a few moments where he kind of almost breaks into a clean vocal, but not quite. It's more of a shouty kind of raspy vocal. But his vocals are really good on this album, very strong. Standout tracks for me, the two tracks that really stood out to me instantly were Killer Be Killed is a monster track, super heavy riff on that one. Infectious Groove and Within These Flames was another one. They're back-to-back songs. These Flames had everything the band does really well. A mix of good composition, great vocals, great guitar leads, smooth transitions, infectious grooves. But that Killer Be Killed had such a groove pocket, I couldn't stop banging my head and grooving along to it. Love that song. Probably my favorite song on the album, if not one of them for sure. And then when you go down further, track number 5, Never to Awake. That one had an interesting opening. It was kind of a soft, ethereal kind of vibe. And then this female spoken word kind of part came in, which kind of threw me off initially. And then once the guitars and the music kicks in, the contrast of the softness at the beginning to that really crunchy, stink face riff kicking in, perfect contrast to really make the riff hit hard and sound really, really heavy. Cool song as well. And then they had another song here, Ve Victus, just under 2 minutes. It's like an instrumental interlude, if you will. Pretty much an acoustic, short acoustic part. You know how guys like to feel about interludes and instrumentals, I can take them or leave them. It sounded sonically really, really good, but I'd rather just have another song, but it is what it is. I know bands like to put those in to kind of break up the album and kind of give you a little breather. But it sounded really cool. Sonically, it sounded really well done. And then Suffer and Solitude was another favorite track of mine. Another really heavy groove pocket on this one, like really infectious. Really like that song a lot as well. And then Bound for Glory. Not Bound for Glory. Number 9, Breathing Fire and Breathing Life. A really good song, just over 3 minutes. Near the end of the song, it had this kind of really epic kind of feel to it. I really enjoyed it. And then Bound for Glory, the last track, just a really good banger to end off the album, nice and heavy. Really good solo on the end of the song, and some really crunchy riffs in there as well. I liked all the tracks. Wasn't a track I really disliked. The opening intro and the kind of number 6, the instrumental interlude, if you will, I can take or leave those. I didn't dislike them, but that's just a personal preference thing. I just would prefer like another full-length song. No weak songs on the album. Songwriting is top-notch. This is an independent band, remember guys, and their composition and songwriting, in my opinion, is on par with any metalcore band of the time that this was released. The quality's just as good. The vocals are strong. The guitar riffs are really well done. The soloing is done really tasteful and melodic. At times, the one thing I was kind of missing, I kind of really expected that kind of really catchy melodic hook to come in with like a clean vocal. Sometimes I just really wanted like a completely clean vocal to come in from time to time. But overall, really strong album, really sounded really good. I wouldn't say there's any negatives. The production's really strong, really heavy sounding album, very bombastic and heavy in your face. You can hear all the instruments really well. I could hear the bass throughout the album pretty strongly. Vocals are really strong. Kudos to you, Mark. I think this might be your best vocal performance I've heard from all your material as a whole. This is their only full-length release. They did have 2 other EPs afterwards. They're really good as well, but I think overall, their debut full-length might be my favorite release from them overall. There's more songs. It's a more cohesive album, like it's a full album, and I think this is my favorite release that they've had to date, to be honest. And for a ranking, it's pretty damn good, guys. Like, this is top tier. I'm not even a big metalcore guy, but I really enjoy listening to this. I'm gonna give it I'm going to give it like an 8.75. It's cusping on a 9. Like I said, the interlude and the intro I can take or leave. Might have brought it down a little bit for me, but that's more of a personal preference. And like I said, at times I just wish there was like one or two songs that had like a nice melodic, clean vocal that came in. But other than that, it's pretty much a perfect album. The composition is the really takeaway from this album. It's just really well written songs, especially for a debut. And yeah, if you're not familiar with these guys, please check them out. Head over to their Bandcamp, give them a follow on Instagram. I'm not sure if you can get your hands on this album specifically. It might be a little bit harder, but you might be able to get on Discogs or eBay or something. But definitely head over to their Bandcamp, pick up their EPs. They're really good as well. And buy the t-shirt. Really cool t-shirt. Super happy to have this. I'll be wearing it often. And yeah, otherwise, again, Mark, thanks for hooking me up with the shirt, buddy, and giving me a copy of the debut from your band. Much appreciated. And again, guys, thanks for watching. Keep it metal.